And we've started something new. We have been taking your email questions on a variety of subjects, and you can always email us at lawline@waytv.com. Let's take a look at one of the email questions we got just in general about personal injury cases. This one, we were in an accident where a big rig rear-ended several cars. Though we were not badly injured, the emotional trauma still causes me great stress. Can the truck driver or company be liable?
You know, she mentioned, you know, that they were uninjured. It's causing her stress. You know, they could be liable, yes. The question is was there damage? You know, was there any physical injury? If there was not a physical injury, you know, do you have legitimate psychological issues from this wreck? You know, you could recover. Some jurors are skeptical about that particular type of claim, but yes, they could be liable. But the question is, what's the legitimacy, you know, of your concerns? Some folks are real, you know, honest engine, have issues driving afterwards. So that's something to consider. But that's something that needs to be documented by, you know, a medical professional, and you know, to determine whether or not that claim, you know, is something a jury, you know, would believe, or, you know, it has the undercurrent of a legitimate claim. So yes, you could, but it depends on each case-by-case basis what the doctor said, what kind of issues you were having. So it is possible. So
in a case like this, if Michael's not receiving a whole lot of money, how does he afford an attorney?
Well, these are done on a contingent fee basis, and we do not accept any money until the end of the case. If we win the case, then workers' compensation is done on a 15% contingent fee, because that's what the law says. That's the limit. And Social Security disability has a cap as well.
And Mary Scott, you guys worked together for, you know, quite some time.
Yeah,
you know, pretty closely. I remember when the case first came in, we met, and then you started representing Michael. How has y'all's relationship grown, you know, through this process?
We became like family. You know, I can call them and ask them questions even after my case has been settled. They still lead me the right direction.
I've been very impressed with Michael's attitude. You know, it's a very difficult thing to go through what he went through, and his attitude has always been phenomenal, and it's just really impressive.
Welcome back to 31 Lawline. I'm Sharon Joviet. Will League is here, and so is Mary Scott Hunter, both from Senior Timberlake and League, and Michael Sanderson, who is this amazing accident survivor that we've had on and been talking to for this 30 minutes. Michael, it is an amazing thing that you've been through. What was your experience with the legal system?
Well, it's all about having the right attorney. You know, the attorneys that I had before, I mean, that was the wrong attorneys that I was dealing with, but Senior Timberlake, they led me the right direction. They led me a place to go.
We've got Brenda on the line with a question from Meridianville. Hi, Brenda. Thanks for calling. What's your question tonight?
Yes. I was calling to find out my daughter was in a wreck. She was the third party. The other two people have not turned it into their insurance company. And I'm trying to find out what I need to do to find out, you know, about her doctor bills and stuff.
Okay.
Well, you know, Brenda, even though the other two parties, the other two persons involved in the wreck has not turned it over their insurance carrier, you can contact their insurance carrier, make a claim, and then they'll start their investigation. You can also contact your own insurance carrier so they can start their investigation, at least get your property damage taken care of. You mentioned medical bills. You know, you have what's called a med pay policy on your own policy to pay for medical bills until they can find the at-fault party, you know, to make him or her liable for those bills. You know, you contact the other folks in the wreck, find out who their insurance carrier, you know, is. You can get that off the police report as well. Write them a letter to make a claim. You know, I'd encourage you to go talk to a lawyer. A lot of times, you know, with medical bills, there's med pay, when to pay med pay, when to hold it and let the insurance pay it, or the medical insurance pay it. So it's a timing aspect of each claim that you want to, you know, take notice to. So again, follow those rules. Go see an attorney if it gets too complicated, which a lot of times it does. I wouldn't give a recorded statement on the front end. A lot of times they'll call you and say, "Hun, just let me take your recorded statement," and they use that to defend the case later. So a lot of times nothing good can come from that recorded statement. So I would encourage you to seek advice just to make sure it's done proper.
Mary Scott, you had also gotten, Michael, SSDI, right?
Social Security Disability Insurance.
Okay.
Yes.
That takes a long time as well for people who are not aware.
It's lengthy, and so what folks need to do is go ahead and get to a lawyer when you think you might be disabled. You can apply. You'll receive what's called a 60-day denial letter. Once you receive that letter, go and visit an attorney. In our case, we sit down and we talk to our clients and we find out kind of what's going on in their lives that disables them, and we do an analysis and we press our cases, and we try very hard. It's always been my honor to represent the disabled and to advocate for the disabled, and I enjoy doing it, and I particularly enjoy working with people like Michael.
And Mary Scott, the standard to be totally disabled in the Social Security Administration is you must have a major injury that affects a life. What's the standard? It affects, you know, ability to do work or any gainful employment?
Well, for both workers' compensation and Social Security disability, you have to be legitimately and bona fide unable to work. And there are professionals, vocational professionals that can that look at you and look at a variety of aspects of your case and what your training and abilities are, and they test you and they can tell you whether or not you're disabled. It's a little bit different for everyone. And in Michael's case, his background and training and skills and abilities, he can't bring those to bear in the workplace anymore.
You know, and there's administrative law judges that hear these cases to find out, you know, who's applying that needs it and who's applying that doesn't need it. And so there is a system in place to deny those that, you know, don't need it and to approve it for those, you know, that do. So it's just not just come up and they rubber stamp it. It's a process. They go through your medical records, talk to your doctors, put you through their own tests if need be, and just, you know, to tally the circumstances to make that determination. And a lot of times it's against the claimant. And Mary Scott comes in and tries to prosecute those cases as best she can.
Thank you.
If you'd like to know more about Michael's situation, he's written a book. Let's tell you how to get his book. There's also CDs of his music. The book is called On the 28th Day My Eyes Opened, and the website is bigblaze.net. I'm going to give you the phone number too, just in case you don't have the internet. 797-6168. 797-6168.